A decade ago, during my high school years, I found myself drawn to a guy 2 years my senior. At 16, we fell deeply in love, and our connection eventually led to the arrival of our child. Leaving my family home, we embraced this new chapter together. For a decade, my husband and I experienced bliss until his sudden passing. Now a single mother, my child, and I returned to my parents' house, where my sister treated us with an unexpected coldness. However, life took an unexpected turn. Destiny, in its peculiar ways, introduced me to a person named Lei, and our story unfolded in ways I never anticipated. Love, they say, has its own plans, and standing up to fate becomes a challenge when we encounter someone truly special. Reflecting on my past at the age of 26, I am Christine, a single mother with two children, a 9-year-old daughter and a 7-year-old son. My life-altering encounter occurred during my early high school days. At 16, I met Michael, a senior at the same school. Our paths crossed near the staff room, and an indescribable moment ensued. Time seemed to pause as we locked eyes, and in that moment, we fell in love. Michael expressed, "It might sound strange, but I feel like it's destiny for us to marry." To me, it didn't sound strange at all because I shared the same sentiment. As an ordinary 16-year-old, proud of my health, I felt like the protagonist of a novel. Michael, a brilliant student destined for a national university, proposed a student marriage but suggested waiting until after my high school graduation. However, fate had its own plans, as I discovered I was pregnant. In Michael's senior year, he chose to marry me instead of pursuing further studies, opting to work for our family and the baby on the way. His parents strongly opposed our decision, expressing concerns about our age and the challenges ahead. Despite Michael's father, Bob, offering an alternative solution, we had already made up our minds to elope. Leaving a letter for our parents, we quietly packed our essentials and embarked on a journey to New York without anyone knowing. Michael had sought help from a contact he knew since middle school, Mr. Webb, a developer of a smartphone game app. Mr. Webb was astonished to learn that Michael was still in high school, and both of us were expecting a child. Turning to Mr. Webb for assistance marked the beginning of an unexpected chapter in our lives. "I had underestimated your age, assuming you were at least over 20. If I had known you were high school students, I would have intervened. Yet now that things have progressed to this point, I cannot simply abandon you." He buried his face in his hands but ultimately allowed us to stay in his apartment, doubling as his office. Moreover, he agreed to act as our guarantor for renting an apartment with one condition. Once the dust settles, we must contact our parents. Michael and I, without revealing our current address, sent a postcard to our parents with a simple line assuring them that we were doing well. Michael, unexpectedly adept at game development since middle school, started assisting Mr. Webb in this field. I took on the responsibilities of cleaning and cooking in our shared living and office space, a new challenge that brought color to our daily lives. Mr. Webb expressed his heartfelt gratitude, acknowledging that he had relied on fast food and convenience store snacks, occasionally resorting to instant noodles. His appreciation made me feel the value of my past experiences helping my mother cook at home. However, it also stirred memories of my parents, occasionally casting a shadow on my spirits. As we faced the weight of marriage and family life, Michael and I had officially registered our marriage. Although we didn't have a lavish wedding or an extravagant honeymoon, we celebrated with a small cake, marking the beginning of our journey as husband and wife. With the arrival of our daughter, we established a tradition of sending New Year's family photos to both sets of parents. Working at Mr. Webb's office might not have been highly lucrative, but it was fulfilling. True to his word, 2 years later, when the app became successful, we received a bonus beyond our expectations. Mr. Webb had kept his promise, making our journey from high school lovers to a family a tale marked by unexpected turns and ultimate success. Anticipation filled our hearts as I carried our second child, a boy, into the world. Our family expanded to 4, and our days overflowed with the delightful chaos of parenting. Perhaps our bond deepened because of the joy these children brought us. Michael embraced fatherhood with profound love, and our home brimmed with unbounded happiness. However, a decade after leaving our homes, a sudden tragedy struck in spring. Michael, only 27, collapsed unexpectedly. With our daughter Minna at 8 and our son Jack at 6, we faced the devastating news: acute myeloid leukemia. In his hospital bed, Michael summoned the strength to share a long-held secret: a bone marrow transplant from his brother before high school, accepting the risks to build a life with me. Grasping his hand, I reassured him that our love remained unwavering, even in the face of such revelations. Contacting Michael's family, they rushed to his side. In the hospital room, amidst tears and apologies, Michael expressed gratitude for the happiness our family bestowed upon him. His final words echoed with love and longing for our children's future. Grief-stricken yet resolute, I vowed to uphold Michael's legacy and nurture our children. With a heavy heart, we bid him farewell in a small, intimate funeral attended by family and close colleagues. Despite offers to live with his parents, I chose to return to mine, seeking solace and a fresh start. In-laws understandingly respected my decision, extending support for the children's upbringing. Gratefully accepting their assistance, I promised to keep our family ties strong. With determination, I embarked on the journey ahead, determined to honor Michael's memory and provide a nurturing home for our beloved children. Before returning home after a decade, I had already informed my family over the phone. Upon our arrival, they welcomed us with open arms, embracing the sudden joy of having two delightful grandchildren. Their warm reception touched me deeply, bringing tears to my eyes. Yet, amidst the warmth, my sister remained cold and distant. "How dare you come back so shamelessly after all you've put us through?" she uttered bluntly, her words cutting deep. My sister, 3 years my senior, had always been the epitome of beauty and intelligence, often looking down on me and teasing me since childhood. Her resentment stemmed from rumors surrounding my departure at 16, tarnishing her prestigious university reputation. Now 29, she seemed desperate in her quest for marriage, belittling my ability to raise my children as a middle school dropout. Her disdain for our return to our parents' home was palpable, as she begrudgingly vacated her space for us. Her hostility extended to my children, particularly Mina, whose strong personality clashed with my sister's condescension. "Mina, aren't you going to get married?" my sister would provocatively inquire, only to receive Mina's calm yet cutting responses. Despite her discomfort at being called auntie, Mina's pointed remarks reflected her understanding of the situation. As tension simmered, the children transitioned to a new school, adapting quickly and finding joy in their daily routines. During summer vacations, they found solace and joy at Michael's parents' house, where they were doted on by his parents and brother Ken. Their affectionate gestures and thoughtful treats brought immense joy to the children, fostering cherished memories. Amidst these moments, I found solace in the genuine curiosity of Michael's family about his life in the city, reminding me of the enduring bonds that tethered us together. As we reminisced about Michael, time seemed to slip away effortlessly. Ken, unlike his brother, wore a sturdy frame with only a hint of similarity in their eyebrows. While Michael exuded gentleness and kindness, Ken's assertive nature and knack for conversation brought warmth to our gatherings. His cheerful demeanor became a source of solace as we fondly recalled memories of Michael. About 3 months into our return home, my sister's words struck unexpectedly harsh. "You come back with 2 kids and no job, just like a parasite," she spat, her words cutting deep. My mother, pained by the confrontation, swiftly came to my defense, reminding my sister of my contributions to the household amidst my grieving for Michael. Surprised by this revelation, my sister questioned how I managed our expenses without a job. Upon my return home, Michael's parents generously deposited $5,000 into my account for child support, insisting I prioritize cherishing time with the children over seeking employment. Grateful yet hesitant, I allocated $1,000, $500 monthly for family expenses, reserving $500 for personal needs, and saving the remainder for our children's future. Only my mother was privy to these financial details, recognizing my dedication to household chores and caregiving. My sister's response to my domestic responsibilities was dismissive, fueled by her impending marriage. Despite her plans, I couldn't help but suggest she hone her cooking skills, drawing ire from her. Her retort, laden with arrogance, stung deeply, prompting a rebuke from our mother, who was appalled by her callous disregard. Despite the tension, my sister's matchmaking endeavors bore fruit as she joyfully announced her engagement to a doctor. Approaching me in an uncharacteristically jovial mood, she shared her news, albeit with a tinge of condescension. Though her words echoed with newfound happiness, the underlying rift between us remained, overshadowed by the complexities of family dynamics and personal aspirations. I'm hesitant to say this, but I'd prefer if you didn't come to my wedding or the reception. Everyone around here knows about your departure from home, and I'd rather not have to explain your sudden return. Also, I don't think you need to attend the family meeting either. Being a middle school dropout and a single mother, it's a bit. You know, she said, her words laced with typical arrogance. Both our father and mother were understandably angered by her comment. However, my sister, having secured her marriage to a doctor, was brimming with confidence. I do want Dad and Mom to attend the ceremony, but as I'm becoming part of his family, I don't care what others think, she declared defiantly. It seemed like a family conflict was inevitable. I tried to intervene, urging our parents not to worry about me and to avoid any family disputes. However, my sister responded coldly, accusing me of being a goody two-shoes before retreating to her room. At that moment, Minna quietly remarked, "Auntie has a bad personality," leaving our parents sighing deeply. About a year after my return home, my sister got married, and I was somewhat relieved that she would soon leave the house. However, just 10 days after her wedding, she unexpectedly called me, claiming to have souvenirs from her honeymoon. I was surprised, as I thought I wasn't supposed to be part of her wedding or reception. She confessed that she had accidentally let slip during the honeymoon, and now that she was married, it didn't matter. On the day of her return, our entire family prepared to welcome her and her husband. When she arrived with her newlywed spouse, I couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. Her husband, H., turned out to be none other than Ken, Michael's brother. My sister, taken aback by my reaction, dismissed it, making a derogatory remark about me. However, Ken, ignoring her, acknowledged me and calmly demanded an apology. I observed his clenched hands, trembling with a force I hadn't seen before. "If that's the case, Christine, apologize right now," Ken asserted firmly. I could feel the weight of his words, sensing a depth of emotion beneath his stern demeanor. However, it wasn't me who needed to apologize. My sister appeared confused, prompting Ken to speak in an even sterner tone. "Apologize. This woman is my brother's wife," he declared, his voice resonating with authority. Suddenly, Jack exclaimed, "Uncle." My children had formed a close bond with Ken during their visits to Michael's family home, cherishing the fun times they shared. Ken's presence had become a source of fondness for them. In a stern tone, Ken addressed my sister's hurtful remarks, referencing my past and Michael's untimely passing. Shocked, my sister gasped as the truth sank in. Ken's revelation struck a chord, highlighting the impact of her words on Michael's memory and our family's bond. Overwhelmed with emotion, my sister tearfully apologized, her voice trembling with fear and regret. Ken, composed yet resolute, expressed his disappointment and need for space. Despite her pleas, he gently withdrew, leaving us stunned and speechless. In the aftermath, my family struggled to comprehend the gravity of the situation. My mother's sighs spoke volumes, acknowledging the severity of my sister's actions. Despite her usual strong-willed demeanor, my sister's tears revealed a vulnerability I hadn't seen before. In a rare moment of vulnerability, she pleaded for my help, her tears a stark contrast to her usual self-assured demeanor. Moved by her sincerity, I felt compelled to assist her, recognizing her genuine remorse and the need for reconciliation. The next day, I made my way to Michael's family home, determined to clear the air. As Michael's mother poured tea, she calmly remarked on the striking resemblance between our sons and me. With a wry smile, I assured Ken not to worry about me, despite my sister's flaws. I emphasized her underlying goodness and wished for her happiness. To my surprise, Ken confessed something unexpected. He revealed that one of the reasons he married my sister was because she reminded him of me. His revelation left me speechless, and the others equally astonished. Despite my doubts, Ken explained how he admired my smile and the tone of my voice, traits he cherished. However, I made it clear that I could never forget Michael. Ken, undeterred, expressed his desire to make me and the children happy in Michael's absence. But I gently reminded him that Michael would always be the children's father. Karen and Bob intervened, urging Ken to consider the implications of his actions. Despite their support, Ken seemed disheartened. I expressed gratitude for his defense against my sister's insults toward Michael. Karen's stern but kind words reassured me, and my sister expressed her gratitude before returning home. Surprisingly, my sister, once distant, now visited frequently, showing a newfound appreciation for family. Karen's influence seemed to be working, albeit with some resistance. My mother, although initially cold, appeared inwardly content with the outcome. As time passed, my sister and Ken navigated their relationship with occasional disagreements, but managed to find common ground. I marveled at their ability to coexist despite their differences. Later, I received news from the city about Michael's final game project. Sharing it with Mina and Jack, we discovered characters named after them. The game, imbued with Michael's love, moved us deeply. Completing the game, we encountered Michael's last message. "Thank you." In that moment, I reflected on the happiness Michael brought into our lives, grateful for having known him.